Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Faithful Friday. What a blessing it is to be alive and well and here to jump on and join you on this amazing Friday. If you're like me, you're ready to wrap up the week. For me, this was just really a week that I was just ready to wrap up. God was faithful this week, but I have to admit, it was a tough one mentally. It was a really tough mental week for me. I was finding where I was having a tough time remembering everything I needed to do and people I needed to respond to, just kind of all over the place. But God is still good. If you're in the Midwest, it is an absolutely phenomenal day. I think we're expecting a high of 65. I just went outside, ran to the mailbox, and it feels good. If you're in the month of February and you're getting weather like this, every day that you get a day with some temps like this would be considered to be paradise. But I'm grateful, despite all the challenges that I had to face this week. I'm glad to be able to see it. I'm glad to be able to be here to operate in purpose. And I'm glad to be able to be here to love and support those that I love. I really am. This week for me, I just continue to focus on tactics and strategies that allow me to blaze channels, blaze trails in the channels that I operate in and beyond. I have continued to evaluate relationships in my life. Although it can be a roller coaster at times, in relationships, they should never be destructive. Never be destructive to our well being. That's a topic that we touched on last week. I talked about just like when you're trying to help others and you find yourself getting pulled in the mess. Me personally, I'm going to walk away from the junk before I let it just pull me in that much. I'm going to try to help, but I'm not going to stay stuck there in the mess with you. So again, it should never be destructive to our well-being. We have to be good at spotting dysfunction, know what to do about it, and, recognize when it's no longer, reasonable or safe to stay in some of these relationships. I also discovered through this week through my passion to just collect nuggets, because every time I'm reading stuff or watching things, I'm looking for the nuggets in the message. And for me, some nuggets that hit this week was you cannot build trust and it keeps getting broken. Many of us know that, but we have to be reminded of that. Someone continues to violate your trust, and you try to trust them again. Sometimes you just have to let it go. You have to let it go. You have to learn to love from a distance. And do you know that sometimes just, trying to solve a problem is a part of the problem? We have to trust God and chill. That's what my shirt says today. I'm going to post a picture of it because I know you guys probably can't see it in this video, but we have to learn to trust God and chill. Health cannot build with unhealth. When your mind is in a healthy place and you're connecting with those that maybe are not so healthy at the moment or at this within this season of their life, sometimes you just have to serve those relationships from a distance. All relationships can be difficult at times. They can. But again, they should never be destructive to our well-being. When there's an abundance of chaos that's going on, there's usually a lack of good boundaries. And I have found that to be true just in my own personal life. When I find my life feeling very chaotic all over the place, that's because I haven't put some boundaries in place. That is because I have chosen to say yes to so many things. And I didn't give my best yes. I didn't evaluate. I didn't see if I had the time, the resources, nor the mental capacity to take on all of the things that I'm seeking to take on. So my personal environment becomes chaotic. And it happens to all of us. It's not unchristian. And I want to repeat, it is not unchristian to require people to treat you in healthy ways. We have to demand that people treat us right. And if they can't treat us right, then we leave them alone. That's not unhealthy. They say warning comes before destruction. And so usually for me, I will try to warn you. And I was just talking to someone about that on this week. A lot of times people will say mean things or do cruel stuff, and you kind of blow it off, or maybe you don't notice when they do it. But I'm just asking God to help me check these things in that moment. You made me feel uncomfortable. You did some things that I didn't like, and I'm telling you. I'm telling you because I want you to know so that this doesn't happen again. We must not confuse the good commands to love with the bad realities of enabling and covering up things that are not honoring to God. And so when someone doesn't treat us right, or someone is mishandling a relationship that we have with them, we have to let them know. Because if the pattern continues on and them treating us the way they feel like they want to treat us, then we've got to know when to cut the cord. Remember, we're building the life that we want one brick at a time. And we have to make sure that we're building on a firm foundation. I don't care if it's personal relationships. I don't care if it's love relationships. I don't care if it's even work relationships, meaning you're building that future, that career, that business that you want. You have to make sure that you're building on a firm foundation. Your every present thought is a significant building block. A significant building block in determining the quality of your future. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of future are you building? Are you trying to do it in a rush mode? Are you really trying to take your time so that it is something that lasts, something that is sustainable, something that is able to withstand the storms of time? I always seek to declare that my home and my workplace will be peaceful. It is not negotiable. It's not negotiable. I'm going to have peace at home. And those ventures that I'm a part of, as far as working, whether it's in business or corporate, I'm going to have peace. I'm maximizing my potential through the things that I choose to absorb. And the things that, that helps me to walk boldly towards my destiny. We all have a choice. Many of us think that we don't. You have a choice to make sure that your home is peaceful. You have a choice by making sure that you don't bring chaos inside of it. That's why I'm very leery. I am very, I'm cognizant about who I allow into my home. I don't just let any and everybody in my house. That's called access. And the things that people are allowed to access in our life should be personal. And hopefully they're personal for you as well. I'm going to continue to stress that to not allow, just stress itself to overtake you. Life can be stressful at times. And stress is a byproduct of fear, whether we're in the fear of failure or the fear of poverty, losing something, or even the fear of rejection. As long as you know who you are and who you belong to, you have to remind yourself everything is going to work out just fine. We're not exempt from going through some things. We're going to go through some things. But we have to remind ourselves a lot of these mountains we've been through before, and we're going to get through it. Another thing that was hitting me this week was quality matters. For whatever's in your heart determines what you say. It does. About yourself and others. That's why you can meet certain people and you're like, man, they're so bitter. They, everything they talk about is kind of from a negative perspective. And that's just things in their heart coming out of their mouth. What you think determines who you are. It determines where you go. It determines what you acquire. It determines where you live. It determines who you love. It determines where you work. It determines what you accomplish out of life and what you allow to be deposited into your spirit. That's why I find myself being a loner sometimes now, because there's just a lot of things I'm not willing to deposit in my spirit. There's a lot of ways in what I think about how I should live and how I should love and where I should work and those things that I want to accomplish, that if we're not mirroring each other in the way that we're both going, me or both, or connections that I have, and us being positive about the things we want to accomplish in life, I just leave you alone. I do. I wish you the best, but I don't participate in pity parties, because as long as we have breath in our bodies, we still have the ability to accomplish some things in this earth. I heard a quote this week. It was from James Allen in a passage titled, "As a Man Thinketh," and it stuck with me. It says, all that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is a direct result of his or her thoughts. And for me, that just kind of stuck with me. The way that we think determines the quality of life that we're going to have, and that's why quality matters. Remember, you're only one thought away from changing your life. And I'm just going to leave you guys with this for this week's discussion. Your thoughts create your reality, both bad and good. You will never have more or go further or accomplish more greater things than your thoughts will allow. So you got to change your thoughts. You got to change the way you think. You got to change the people that are speaking into you. And if they're not speaking great, you got to surround yourself around some people that do know how to be positive, that do know how to dream, that are out here making some things happen, and they're making their dreams come true. Your life is a reflection of your most dominant thoughts. And so sometimes when we see a lot of crazy things that are going on, we got to check our thought process. What are we thinking? What are we thinking about all the time? What are we looking at? What is controlling our thought patterns? You know, God is always teaching us ways, always teaching us ways how to improve our productivity, how to work smarter and more efficiently, how to do better with our time. I told you guys over the course of the past few weeks, time management is everything. We waste a lot of time, and we waste a lot of time that we don't have time to waste. God is with you to bring you through every challenge and show you the way to victory. You got to just be willing to open up and listen. Refuse to allow fear to be the force that moves you, because it moves a lot of people every single day. They wake up talking about how things are not going to work, all the resources they don't have, and how the woulda, coulda, shouldas and what they would have done. Remember, we got to learn to trust God and chill. Trust God and chill, because he got it. But anywho, it is the disconnect for most. I hope that you do some things that your future self will thank you for, even if it's just getting some rest, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the warmer temps. Just learn to enjoy your disconnect. For me, I will be out working the business. The guys will be at the Indy Winners Farmers Market this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Come check us out. We do have some deals. Shay Sparks released another Freestyle Friday on this morning, so check her out. But yeah, guys, you know the drill. Your transparency is leading to so many other people being transformed. I don't care where you're at or what you're doing. Make sure that you let your light shine. It is changing and transforming so many people. You know the drill. This has been your girl 7, and I will see you soon.